Welcome back, and joining us on the show now is Shreyaan Gupta. He's Chief Operating Officer at Gujarat Ambuja Exports. Shreyaan, hi, good to have you on the show. We've been talking about ethanol, but more in sense of sugar. But what really seems to have taken precedence and how is the maize? Because when you look at the production numbers there, we're looking at very strong numbers coming in from maize right now. How do you see, first of all, this disruption, and what are those numbers right now?
Hi, good afternoon. So maize has been a very important topic, which is circling around the commodity circle for the last 2 to 3 years, predominantly because of the ethanol sector. The ethanol sector has rapidly grown in the last 4 years, consuming from less than 1 million tons in 2021 to more than 9 million tons this year. The total corn crop in India is somewhere roughly about 30 to 34 million tons, which is at least 15% less than the government estimates of 40 million tons. But the ethanol sector, from the shift towards grain ethanol, which was predominantly a sugar-based industry, had created a crunch last year, which forced a lot of people to face extremely high prices, along with people importing about 7 to 800,000 tons of maize from Ukraine and neighboring countries. So maize till FY24 and in the first quarter of FY24-25 has seen a very big pressure. However, currently with the new Rabi crop in place and with a bumper Kharif crop, we don't seem to have a very big pressure on maize this year. The Kharif crop was roughly 23 to 24 million tons, wherein the Rabi crop is expected roughly 11 to 12 million tons, which is about 25% higher than last year's Kharif and Rabi crop. So last year, the Kharif crop was roughly 18 million tons, and the Rabi crop was roughly 9 million tons. Now the 27 million ton crop with 8 million ton of ethanol demand created such a big panic last year that people didn't know what to do.
Sure.
So they resorted to paying higher prices, importing the raw material. However, in a very short span, due to government initiatives, due to private companies taking up charge to, encourage farmers sowing the corn crop, and subsequently the farmers were also realizing good margins of corn, because if you just look back around the pandemic, the corn price was about 11 to 12 rupees a ton. Today it is sitting at 23, 24 rupees, and last year during this time and in July, August, it went up to 28, 29. Now, when the farmers see such a dramatic shift in the pricing, certainly they will be more motivated to replace that existing wheat crop, soybeans crop, and to some extent in some states even rice crop, and shift to corn crop. So all that has now given us a crop which we feel is sufficient for the Indian demand of maize.
Clearly. Shreyaan, we do understand that Gujarat Ambuja as well, when it comes to maize processing, seems to be increasing capacity.
Absolutely.
What are the kind of investments you're putting in? Where do you stand right now, and what are the targets?
So Gujarat Ambuja Exports currently consumes about 4% of India's maize, which is roughly 1.3 million tons. Our current processing capacity into the maize starch and maize derivatives business is roughly 4,000 tons per day. We just inaugurated a new plant in our Sitarganj unit, which was about 1,200 tons per day, ramping up our existing 4,000 tons per day capacity to 5,200 tons per day capacity. Our investments in the maize division have been quite consecutive since 2010, wherein we set up our unit in Karnataka. So looking forward, we feel that the maize crop and our capacity should align with the India's demand. We are further diversifying into a fermentation sector, wherein fermented products, which are huge amount of import substitutes made from maize, we're going to try and make it in India, which is going to be another vertical of ours. It is all going to be derivatives of starch as well as maize. So we feel the maize sector still has a lot of potential. The starch industry from about with a capacity of 2 million tons in 2010 today stands at 7 million tons, which is also going at an increasing pace. However, last year, due to some challenges, there was some dent in the consumption demand due to high prices of the finished products, high prices of the raw materials, difficult for smaller industries to sustain. However, we feel that that was a short duration of time and things will materialize, fall in place, the demand will adjust, everything will adjust in the coming quarters because the farmers have really supported us this time. Because uh, a kharif crop of 23 million ton and a rabi crop of 12 million ton is something which is way beyond our expectation. So the industry is quite happy in terms of the maize availability. Even the ethanol industry is quite happy because now they also have a substitute of FCI rice, which the government
Right.
is committed to supply about 4.8 million tons of FCI rice to the ethanol sector for ethanol making. So the ethanol sector is happy because they have a substitute crop. The poultry
Yes.
sector is getting maize at reasonable prices. The starch industry is also getting good availability of maize.
Well, this year, the kind of numbers that you're giving us, Shreyaan, it does look quite positive. Last year was a bit of a scare, but as you've told us that the prices from 28, 29 have come down to 24. But I can tell you this, Mangalam, that corn clearly has been a hero when it comes to ethanol. Not so much sugar, but rice is picking up and maize absolutely killing it there.
All right, take that point. Thank you so much for taking us through with that conversation, Manisha. As we do